What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Barnamiji, and today we're going to be quickly going through just a couple of tips that I have for completing Tarkov Shooter Part 1 and Tarkov Shooter Part 2. If you follow along with this, you shouldn't have too much trouble with this task. If you enjoyed the video or find it helpful, be sure to drop a like, subscribe for more videos like this, leave a comment for the algorithm. Love your faces. So let's get into the straight and narrow of it. We're talking about Tarkov Shooter Part 1, eliminate scavs from over 40 meters away while using a bolt-action rifle with iron sights, as well as Tarkov Shooter Part 2, shoot any target in the legs from over 40 meters away while using a bolt-action rifle, shoot any target in the head from over 40 meters away while using a bolt-action rifle. I believe you get both of these at the same time. I basically did them at the same time. So essentially the trick that I have in mind here, I am not a, I do enjoy using bolt action rifles. I think that they are significantly less meta, more difficult to use than the semi-auto counterparts or even whatever, if we're talking about sniping. So I don't prefer to use them. They're very satisfying. It is amazing when you get a kill with them. So to anybody who enjoys them, I do enjoy them. I just don't find myself getting near as many kills because you have to hit your one shot with them. So if you enjoy doing that, that's totally fine. Definitely understand it. This is, I guess, mostly going to be targeted for people who prefer to use other weapons, full auto SMGs, assault rifles, shotguns, semi-auto rifles, DMRs, whatever you prefer to use rather than a bolty. And in that case, what I'll do is go to Jaeger and buy the VPO 215. It's pretty much the cheapest bolt action that I can find. I don't think that the break action rifle actually counts for this. I think it's considered a shotgun. So this is what I used. And it comes with a 4-round mag in it. So that's from Jaeger. Should be available at level 1. You just have to go unlock him, but you should already have him unlocked because you have the Tarkov Shooter. So I'll buy this and then make sure to buy at least one extra mag right here. And then I am running the FMJ, 366 FMJ over Gexa. I believe it just does a little bit more damage. Scratch that, it's actually a little bit less damage, but it's more pin. You have a better chance of getting through class 3, so that's why I went ahead and rocked it. It's still 98 damage. You'll still one-tap to the thorax and stuff like that. So anyway, I buy that combo right there, and then what I'll do is every single raid that I run, I will have it as my on-the-back weapon, and I'll make sure to have 2 mags in the gun as well as just some extra ammo in my pocket. These are pretty cheap, so you can put them wherever. Just keep some spare ammo on you. Sometimes this task does take several shots. These are not easy shots to hit at the end of the day. We are talking about 40 meters bolt action shots. Not easy. Not easy. But once again, I keep it on the back. I have the gun that I prefer to run as my main. I will use that as a regular gun for the entire raid. But if I see a scav at that 40-meter distance, or some scav that I can fall back and still see and then make it a 40-meter shot, I'll whip this bad boy out, and that way I'm ready to go. Because if this is my main gun, sure, it's cost effective, but it is tough to use with the iron sights as well. It's tough to use. So again, because of that, it's not the main gun that I want to run. I run this one because it's cheaper than the Mosin. I had plenty of success with it, and I'm going to die out there, so I don't really want to be spending a ton of money on a bolt action. I'm not even going to be using it as my main weapon. So I just went with the cheapest option that I could find, essentially, so I could run it most every raid for cheap and whip it out when I need it. So here we are in the hideout with it, just showing it off. It's this gun here. I'm sure many of you are familiar with it. This is just the system I use. The iron sights are definitely not bad. They work in a pinch. Hits where you expect. It's totally fine. So this is how I'd recommend going about the task. I just don't want this to be my main weapon. We're talking about this versus something like this. The difference is clear to me. I know what I prefer to use, but I do still want to get this task done, so this is what I do. Why do we have 2 mags? The reason being it holds 4 shots, but you cannot front load like a Mosin from the top. You actually have to reload the mag itself. So it just takes a lot longer to reload if you only have 1 mag, because you have to go in and uninstall the mag, reload it with bullets, and then put it back in the gun, versus just being able to swap it out and then load another one later. It's so cheap. Just bring 2 mags. It's a lot easier to do it this way, and you're liable to miss some shots for Bolt action shots at this distance with iron sights is not a lot, so you're probably going to need at least 2 mags, in my opinion. I was able to organically get my Tarkov Shooter Part 1 and Part 2 kills out there in the wild on whatever map. I didn't really care. If you want to target this task, maybe go woods, get some really long angles and long lines of sight. That's probably the map to do it on if you're really targeting it. But I was just running with my my buddies. We had a lot of five-man groups, you know, 3, 4, 5-man groups, and I didn't really have to think about it too much. I just carried this thing around. Was like, hey, there's a scab at 40. Let me pop them. Shoot them in the legs. Make sure you shoot them in the legs as well. Shoot the same scab in the legs over and over. Then pop them in the eyes. That's how you can get that Tarkov Shooter 2 out of the way quickly. And I just wish you guys best of luck. I hope this helps. It's a good system for getting it out of the way quickly. The Tarkov Shooter Part 1 and Part 2 are worth a ton of XP, so it's a great one to get out of the way. Just go do them. You'll get the levels. You get the flea market faster. Anyways, I hope if this video helped, make sure to like, subscribe, comment for the algorithm, and we'll catch you in the next one.